Hey everybody, Rob Cootie here, of the MLM Solution. I want to welcome you to today's episode, which is going to be number 187. It is currently Tuesday the 25th of May, and we're going to be having a topic today, red flag tactics. What red flags should stand up and say to you, run in the opposite direction, or hey, don't work with this person? What are the red flag things that you need to know about in this industry, the little nuances of the industry that will bring up warning signs for you so that you don't waste your valuable time, your money, and your reputation with a company that is not meant to be? You do not want to join a company like that. But what do you look for? You're all excited about the potential and you don't want to think about the negatives, but they're staring you in the face. If you don't know what to look for, you may never see them. We're going to talk about that and more in today's episode, number 187, believe it or not, 187. All right, if you will, guys, please share our podcast, our social media platforms, our website with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. You can do that by utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. Share that hashtag with our fellow network marketers as you're going across the internet and run into them. We appreciate it and say thank you in advance for doing that. And if you go to our website, themlsolution.net, please hit the share button. Once again, sharing our website and all of the products and knowledge and information that's there with our fellow network marketers so they can be empowered to use this great business model themselves. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm going to hop off here so we can go live here very shortly. See you.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you? How are you?
Good morning, Rob. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. I want to say before we get started, guys, if we have technical issues, it's because Miss Marie and I have been troubleshooting. We think we might have an idea of what's going on. I think we have a strong suspicion of what's going on. So I just want to make it known up front that Miss Marie and I hope, God willing, fingers crossed, eyes crossed, legs crossed, toes crossed. I don't think there's anything else I can cross. That we do not have any technical difficulties today, but it doesn't look promising. It looks like it could be a server issue. We are troubleshooting it as it happens live so that we can pinpoint it. So I wanted to say that up front, Miss Marie, before we get started, because I don't want people, it's going to be frustrating for them as much as it is for us.
I'm sure. Yep. And, it's the attack of the gremlins. You live by technology, you die by technology. And as I always say, Technology is a wonderful thing when it works.
When it works. That's right. With that being said, before we get started, guys, if you will, give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear. You understand the points we're making. You can see how they can be helpful. We're going to say thank you in advance. And as always, we're going to ask that you help us get the word out with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. You can do that in a couple of different ways. As you can see, hashtag the MLM Solution, or go to our website and hit the share button. But if you're on our social media platforms, please, if you will, share, like, comment on our various social media platforms. If you're on our YouTube channel, please hit the little bell twice so that you can be notified when we go live and when we upload new content. Right, Miss Marie? Mm-hmm. And today's topic is going to be red flag tactics. Podcast number 187. Miss Marie, only 13 episodes from that magical 200. Can you believe it?
It's coming. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of festivities you're going to bring to episode 200.
I've got to do something. You can touch me with my pants down every time. I'm bound and determined. I'm not going to let that happen this time. So I know you'll have something. I gotta up my game. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's embarrassing. You've been just slapping me upside the head like a daggone right ragdoll. So
I don't know about that.
All right. And yesterday we forgot to do tomorrow's episode. We're going to take care of that right now. Tomorrow's episode, the comparison trap. Guys, you do not want to get caught up in the comparison trap. It is just that, a trap. It will set you up in a bad, bad way. Do not do that. Join us tomorrow as we go and take a deep dive into the comparison trap, how to avoid it, and what will happen if you do go down that rabbit hole. So you don't want to do that, right, Miss Marie?
Nope, you do not. And just to expand a little bit on today's topic title, that red flag tactics, because we have an international audience, oftentimes we use American idiosyncrasies in our verbiage and things. And I just want to make sure everyone kind of understands what we mean by that. When we talk about a red flag, that's usually a caution that comes up. It's kind of when you find yourself in a situation and you get that gut feeling or your intuition is telling you something is off, that's a red flag. It's kind of like throwing that caution, saying something's not quite right here. You may not be able to put your finger on it, but you just kind of instinctively know something's off, something's not right. So that's what we wanted to talk about today, is red flag tactics that happen in the MLM network marketing industry. Those activities, those actions, those phrases you may hear that kind of throw that red flag, that means you might want to take a little bit of caution. So I just wanted to make sure that's clear for everybody before we start diving into it.
Well, that's a great point to make. And sorry, guys, I was sidetracked there, troubleshooting some things as we're live. So bear with me as I get sidetracked. Miss Marie will fill in admirably, I'm sure, as always. That being said, guys, we're going to take a deep dive into red flag tactics. What does that mean to you? Why do you need to know that? As you know, we touch on subject matter that no one else does that's relevant to the business building process and to your success. And this is no different. Podcast number 187, Red Flag Tactics. What does that mean exactly? Well, first and foremost, look, guys, if you're not a part of network marketing right now and you're looking to join the network marketing industry, you see the potential of the business model. Miss Marie, yesterday, we fought through the gremlins to talk about an important subject where the business model is inert. It's neither good nor bad. It's the people, the heart of the person, the ethics of the person, the character of the person that accesses that business model, whether they're going to do unethical, evil things or they're going to do good, positive things. And that leads us into this topic here, and that is this. If you're new, never been a part of network marketing, you've seen the business model, you're intrigued by it, guys, some of the red flags is do not listen to other people that have no knowledge of the industry, but they like to talk, they like to spread rumor, innuendo, gossip, whatever the case may be. Also, if you have somebody that's disgruntled, and rightfully so in many cases about the industry, they got a bad taste in their mouth, and once again, rightfully so, we're not going to disparage those people because of their experience, okay? As you know, we're advocates for the industry and for good reason. But Miss Marie and I have not only seen but experienced the good, the bad, the ugly of the industry. I think that we're well qualified to speak about those things. And the one thing that you do not want to do is jeopardize your own future. In other words, your own success by listening to those that are disgruntled or those that have never been a part of the industry. The business model, once again, is inert. It's going to do either good because you do good, or it's going to do evil because you do evil. That's the bottom line. Miss Marie, people don't like looking in the mirror and saying, well, I'm an unethical person. I have no character. I'm an unscrupulous person that will take advantage of others. But that's exactly what some people are, Miss Marie, and they take advantage of people utilizing this business model, which gives it a bad name. And we don't want people to red flag the industry just because they hear these rumors. When you hear rumors and somebody has a bad experience, that is a red flag to you to not take what they have to say totally serious without investigating it further, because you don't want to jeopardize the potential success you could experience by allowing someone to influence your decision, right, Ms. Marie?
Well, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest red flags that people run into early on, especially when they're investigating potentially joining a network marketing company, engaging in the industry, are those folks that are kind of selling the easy get rich quick schemes, right? I think instinctively we all know that that's a red flag and that's probably going to be an issue. But at the same time, we're all looking for that, right? I'll give you my own personal little confession here. I am lazy by nature. It makes me incredibly efficient because I don't want to spin my wheels doing things over and over and spending a lot of time on things that I can do quickly. But ultimately, I'm lazy. So there is that kind of lottery mentality that's out there with people. They'd like to go spend $1 on that lottery ticket and become a millionaire, right? So the network marketing industry kind of creates that when your unscrupulous distributors come along and say, hey, you can be a multimillionaire making, $100,000 a month, working just 2 hours a week. And like I said, instinctively, that's not true, but there's always kind of that hope that, well, maybe, wouldn't that be cool if it was? So I think that's one of the biggest red flags that comes up for a lot of people before they even join the industry. It's like the red flag will pop up and they're like, no, I don't want to pay attention to that flag. I want this to be true. I want this to be easy. I want to be rich sooner rather than later, right?
Yes. Well put. Absolutely. That's exactly what happens. And that's such a shame that it has that kind of, some people have that kind of mentality about the industry. We always say over and over again, guys, this is hard work. It's an easy business. It literally is. We have a 5-step process. Anybody, over the age 18, anybody could do these steps. No ifs, ands, or buts. Whether they want to is another matter, but they can do them. The thing is that it's hard work. It's going to take a lot of dedication. There's a lot of ups and downs, just like there is in any industry here, right? So Miss Marie is absolutely right. But here's the thing, guys. The red flag starts if you're sitting at home at night saying, you know what, I ran into that network marketing business model a while back. I was really intrigued. I can see the potential of that. But man, there's so much negativity about that. And you know what? Joe said that he was in the industry and he had this happen and that happen. And man, I like Joe and I trust Joe, but is that really true? If that happened, that's horrible. And I don't want to be a part of that. And at the same time, you got Sally down the street who's never been a part of the industry, but she heard from a friend who heard from a friend that the industry was bad and evil. Okay. And so you're sitting at home saying, that just doesn't jive with what I saw in the business model. The business model really has potential. What do you owe it to yourself to have an unbiased look at the business model yourself? Don't let the red flags that Sally and Joe brought up influence your future by living your decision through their opinions. Okay? Those are red flags from the get-go before you even join the industry. Now, what are other red flags? Look, if you say, okay, I'm going to join the industry, and you run into Marie, and Marie is a seasoned veteran, but she kind of cuts corners here and there and blah, 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 blah. And you say, oh, wow, I finally found somebody that's in the industry. And you'd start talking to Miss Marie if you know what kind of questions to ask. With her answers, you might be like, oh, that doesn't really sound right. Something doesn't feel right here. Once again, a red flag, right? Don't join Miss Marie. She may be your segue into the company. As we told you in past episodes, there are other ways to what? Join the company. You can call the company yourself and say, look, I'm looking for a distributor, an honest, ethical distributor that knows what they're doing, and I need help, because you don't know their name. I need help finding that person. I really like your company. I really like what I see. I want to be a part of it, but I don't want to work with certain people that I've run into, okay? And that company, more times than not, Miss Marie, will say, sure, give us your name and telephone number. We have someone in mind. And chances are, Miss Marie, they're going to put you in touch with one of their top leaders. Right?
Well, that would certainly be the hope. But yes, you always have other options. You don't have to engage with someone who you're not comfortable with. And on the flip side of that, you may find that you've joined a network marketing company. And once you've joined, you realize your upline sponsor, maybe not somebody you necessarily want to engage with. You can move farther up the line to see who you have on your support team. You don't necessarily have to work with that individual. You don't necessarily have to do everything they say, right? Again, this is your own business. So
Right.
you're responsible for the team you're building. So, you just have to make some of those decisions along the way as well.
Right. But on the flip side of that is that if you can avoid it altogether, that
Right.
red flag, you can call the company. Okay. And I tell you that, and I'm glad that she brought up both sides of the coin so that you can be aware that there's more than one way to attack this. But once again, we're teaching you about, the episode is about red flags, and we want to make you aware of these red flags so that you know they exist, and that you say, okay, I remember listening to Rob and Marie, and they were talking about this. I now know what to do. So bringing up both sides of the coin, Miss Marie, is awesome. The thing is that you have a situation, guys, where, once again, don't feel like you're locked out of this company just because you run into Marie and you don't feel comfortable working with her for whatever reason. A red flag has jumped up. You're not really sure why, and you're not going to investigate it. You just know that for you personally, that red flag is saying, hey, don't work with Marie. Okay. So let's say that you do join Marie. There's no red flags that come up, and she all of a sudden she signs you up. She does this and that, and the next thing you know, you barely hear from her. Another red flag. You say, well, you talk about that all the time. The people that are sponsoring the company sometimes, a lot of times, do not hear from that person again. Once again, this is a red flag, but it doesn't mean give up on the company. Okay, it's a red flag for you to say, okay, I haven't heard from Marie in weeks. Let me try and get a hold of her. You try and get a hold of her 3 times. She doesn't return your call. She doesn't answer, whatever the case may be. Guess what? It's time to do what? Either use the 5 simple steps, grab the bull by the horns, do the 5 simple steps yourself, hunt for a leader above her. Once again, call the company and say, look, I don't know who's above Marie. She's my sponsor. I haven't heard from her. I don't know if she's active, but now I don't want to work with her. Who is in her upline? She never told me. I have no clue, and I can't see in my genealogy who's up there. Who is actively building a business in a positive way and experiencing consistent growth? Can you put them in touch with me? Okay. Once again, lean on the company to help you, because the company wants you to be successful. If Miss Marie disappears, it's a red flag. Don't hunt her down. Don't make her feel guilty. Don't try and tell her you are a horrible person and you're supposed to help me, blah, blah, blah. Move on past that. Okay. You already tried to get a hold of her 3 times. 3 times is a charm. Time to move on. And the positive way to handle this situation is, once again, contact the company. And I always defer to the company, because the company has your best interests at heart. When you grow, they grow. Okay. And if you call them, I'm telling you, Miss B, more times than not, they're going to put you in touch with someone that's good, because they know that you're struggling. And so they're going to put you in contact with the best person possible. They're not going to put you in touch with the #1 earner in the company. It's just not going to happen. But they are going to put you in touch with somebody that's experiencing consistent growth more times than not, because they want you to grow yourself. Would you not agree with that?
Oh, I absolutely agree. And depending on the size of the company and what kind of staffing they may have, you may have somebody within the company that can help you with training and answer questions as well. So contacting the company is always a good idea. They are definitely there to support you and help you out and want you to be successful, because obviously as you succeed, the company grows, the company continues to succeed. So it becomes a win-win on both sides. And unfortunately, it looks like Rob's frozen up here. Hopefully he'll be back shortly. But along the lines of red flag tactics, aside from the distributorship or your upline not necessarily being responsive, they may be training you in a way that doesn't make sense. I know back in the day, one of the popular things to do was to go out and, hey, put flyers on cars in the store parking lots. And nowadays that's I hate that. What I can tell you, I personally, when I walk out of a store and I see something stuck to my windshield, whatever it is, I mean, it could be somebody telling me, call this number and I'll give you $1 million, no strings attached. I'm just like, I'm all fired up and not happy about it. So there are just some tactics that they will tell you to use to try to recruit people, to try to prospect, that just aren't effective. That can be red flags as well.
Yes, absolutely. So Miss Marie's right. If Miss Marie does work with you, and she's now, as she said, go out and put things on, I guess telephone poles, whatever, utility poles, yard signs, things on cars, put a sticker on your car, put a magnet on your car, blah, blah, blah. Guys, no, those are red flags, big time red flags. 5 simple steps to networking success is the answer. Okay. Those are not positive business building tactics. So let's just say that. Another red flag, Miss Marie, the product line. We talked about it, the bad products and network marketing. As you know.
Oh, you just muted out.
I had to cough.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I didn't know if you hit it accidentally or.
Tuesday, a copy of Monday. All right. Guys, what happens here is that you have a situation where you're doing unproductive things that are, and you don't want to undermine the positive that you can have in this business by doing these kinds of things. And that includes joining a company that has the products that we talked about in the past. If you go and look for one of our podcasts, Bad Products of Network Marketing, I think that was the title, wasn't it, Miss Marie, or Stay Away from These Products, something like that. I think it was Bad Products that have a long history or something. But anyway, you get the point. Search for that episode. We talk about the products that have a long history of underperforming or being downright bad for the business model of network marketing. Don't join that company. That is a major red flag. It is a borderline scam, right, Miss Marie? We talked about that. The travel clubs, the golf clubs, the laundry rings, the laundry balls, commodities, for the most part. We could go on and on, tiddlywinks, toothpicks. I'm exaggerating now, but you get the point. Guys, these are products that have had a long history, proven history, not because we say it, proven history of underperforming or just being downright borderline scam products attached to a borderline scam company that calls itself network marketing. You have anything to add to that, Miss Marie?
No, I think you covered that aspect really well.
Okay. So that is a major red flag, guys. You do not want to be with a company like that. Okay. Run in the opposite direction. Another thing, we talk about a comp plan, a fair and equitable comp plan. Another major red flag. The only way, because look, there's so many different comp plans. In order for you to understand them, you'd almost have to become an expert. Would you not agree, Miss Marie? It's overwhelming.
Yeah, the compensation plans that they're coming out with today can be very complex.
Right. So with that being said, guys, here's what you need to do. Once again, 5 simple steps to networking success. What do we teach? The threshold of profitability. What does the threshold of profitability encompass? Guess what? The 10,000 group volume. Why is 10,000 group volume important? Because if you are going to build a business with a network marketing company, your goal should be to create 10,000 group volume. The threshold of profitability shows you how to make that happen. What happens when you create 10,000 group volume? You can look at the comp plan, and then if Miss Marie and I were to go into the back in the industry today, one of the first things we do if we run into a company that is new, has potential, has the 5 things a new company must have. One of the things that the 5 things encompasses is the comp plan, fair and equitable comp plan, right, Miss Marie? Mm-hmm. How do Miss Marie and I determine whether this is a comp plan that we want to be a part of and is something that will pay our downline? That's the key part. Will it pay our downline to where we can sponsor and keep high quality leaders in our business that are going to be rewarded for their effort? We tell them to do what? Shoot towards 10,000 group volume in 90 days. Why? Because if they do, they're going to be paid this amount. So when we look at the comp plan, if the comp plan is paying pennies on the dollar, we know to run in the opposite direction. Red flag, big red flag. That's why you want to use our tactic, our 10,000 group volume, to evaluate a comp plan of a new company that you're thinking about joining. Would you not agree, Ms. Marie?
Yeah, it sets a good baseline because, again, we talk about the 10,000 group volume, not the extra bonuses, not trips, not all that. You're just looking at the fundamental pay coming out of that compensation plan and whether or not it's going to be worth the time and effort you're going to invest in your business.
That's right. Exactly. So that is a great barometer, a great gauge, if you will, to say, hey, this company is worth joining. If the comp plan is paying you pennies on the dollar, major red flag. So we talked about the products that are major red flags. We're talking about the comp plan, major red flag. Another thing, Miss Marie, if you're talking about, if Miss Marie and I open up a new network marketing company ourselves and we have no experience whatsoever, would you not say that's a red flag? Yes. Okay. You say, well, how do you find that out? The internet's a powerful thing and an amazing thing, what you can find out about people, right? So.
Yeah. I was going to say the background of the founders can be very important, whether they have network marketing experience, whether they have overall business experience, finance experience, what their background is. I think one of the biggest red flags I've encountered personally is the distributor who made a bunch of money working with a company and all of a sudden is off and starting their own company.
Yes, I have seen that myself. Wow. Run. Let me say this. Also, let me say this. If Miss Marie and I started a network marketing company and we put on our bios on the website, the company website, that we've been a part of the industry for 30 plus years as distributors, guess what? That's not network marketing experience. Okay. That's not entrepreneurial experience. Okay. That is not leading a network marketing company. That is a totally different ballgame, totally different animal. It is not apples to apples. It's apple to oranges. Okay, so don't be impressed if you go on there and see that Marie and Rob are bragging about being in the industry and achieving a certain level of success in the industry over a 30-year period. That is not impressive. Okay, we do not have the knowledge and experience and connections to establish and run a honest, legitimate networking business that has real potential. Would you not agree, Miss Marie? I hate to tell on ourselves, but that's the truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, 30 plus years in the industry and the level of success is actually kind of impressive, I think, but does not qualify us to run a network marketing.
There you go.
By any
there
means.
it is. She nailed it.
I think that's the key bit right there.
That's right. Okay, so red flag right there. The leadership in the office has to have corporate level network marketing experience. If they have additional experience in the corporate world and a high level management position, that's awesome. That's a great compliment. But they've got to have more than 1 year or 6 months of corporate level network marketing experience. Okay, because I'm telling you, this is a minefield. Opening up a network marketing company is one thing, but expanding it into international waters and countries is another thing. And connections are absolutely essential. Like anything else in this world, it's all about who you know, especially when you're going to foreign countries as a network marketing company. So with that being said, because Miss Marie and I can hire everybody else. We can hire a lawyer or someone else, design a comp plan. We can hire people to develop a product. We can do all that. But guess what? If we don't have the connections and knowledge ourselves, we're in big trouble leading that company to international growth, which is essential to its future. All right. With that being said, Miss Marie. Oh, sinuses. Woo. Man, what a day. All right. So we talked about the comp plan. We talked about the leadership. We talked about the product. We talked about your sponsor. How to handle all those red flags. We talked about the red flags of even looking at the industry, thinking about joining it. We talked about that. And the other thing that we want to talk about is this. A red flag that could really have a major issue on your future with the network marketing business is what the company's plans are for future international expansion. Now, we just talked about that, okay, but you're a distributor and you're doing well, and the company is still young, and the company is saying, okay, we're only going to go into 15 countries. Okay, we're not going to go into 30. Because, Miss Marie, the norm is anywhere from 30 to 60 countries that are profitable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Each company is different. Each product line is different. Some products are not allowed in certain countries, but for the most part, if a company is going to be successful financially and be stable, 30 to 60 countries are their meat and butter, right?
Yep.
Okay. So with that being said, if a new company is not going there, it's only going to 15 countries, guess what? That should raise a red flag. What does that red flag tell you? Start doing the hokey pokey. Have one foot in, one foot out. What does that mean? That means stay grounded and keep building with the company you're with, despite the fact they're only going into 15 countries, but start looking for another opportunity. Okay? Because you got to actively, because 15 countries is not enough to sustain that company or you or your downline. Even if you love the company and you know the owners personally, guess what? Your downline doesn't care. And your leader's going to start leaving because there's no more money to be made. Right, Miss Marie?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why people get engaged in the business, right? You go into business to make money because ultimately that's the tool that allows you to attain the lifestyle, the time freedom that you're after.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what you have, guys, is a situation where you're going to have to make a decision. That's a personal decision, which we won't get into because we did a past episode on that, and you can search for that. Okay, so you have a situation where the company is limiting its growth, its future, and its finances by saying we're only going to go into 15 countries. Okay, so on the other hand, if it goes into the traditional mode of operation and it's going to expand into 30 to 60 countries, all of a sudden you have other leaders starting to leave, big leaders that you respect, leaders that you know something about, and they start leaving. Not just one or two. You have 4 or 5, okay, maybe up to 6 or 7. Guys, that's a red flag, big time. You say, well, what does that mean? That means either a comp plan change is coming down the road or a international expansion change has happened behind closed doors, or the product line is going to be cut back or changed or something. There is something big time because leaders don't, if they're making money, Miss Marie, they're not leaving, right? If their pocketbooks are going to be hit, okay, either by a comp plan adjustment or by a limited expansion, or by a limited product line, guess what? They realize it's over. They realize they have an obligation not only to themselves and their lifestyle and their family, but to their downline. And they know that to continue to work this hard with a limited future that's being limited by the company's ownership, that is a red flag that most leaders, Miss Marie, will not mess around with. They will flat out leave within a week. They'll get everything together and say, guys, we're out of here. And they're gone. Right, Miss Marie? Red flag. Would you not agree?
Yeah, and sometimes that will manifest itself. I've seen it in companies where you have a distributor who's fairly high up there making a good income. They're at all the company events. They're at all the regional events. The company's promoting them on phone calls and everything else. And it seems like every time you turn around, you're hearing from them. And then all of a sudden they've disappeared.
Yes.
And nobody has said anything.
That's right. You're right. That's right. I've been there myself.
Yep.
And it's something that it alarms you, and it causes immediate concern, and it also causes doubt. Right? It takes a seasoned veteran to handle these. Believe it or not, her and I make it sound easy on this episode, but it is a tough decision, Miss Marie, because you put so much into it, and you've got such a responsibility to your downline that it's not a decision to take lightly. And it can be a tough decision, no doubt about it. Guys, once again, if the company, here's another red flag, and we're just highlighting the basics, okay? And we're trying to cover them all so we don't have a long episode like we did yesterday. The thing is that you have a situation where if the product line, if they said behind closed doors, hey, we only have 5 products now, but by October of this year, we're going to have 5 more, and here's what they are. And they're in development right now. We're testing them out, make sure they're safe, blah, 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 and all this and that. And you say, okay, that's good. I like what the products are. And they're going to tell basically their top 10 earners. If you have a top 10 earners list on the website, typically those people are going to be informed. Why? Because they make up the bulk of the money that the company is making, right, Miss Marie? And believe it or not, these people are privy to information behind closed doors. A lot of times they're invited to these meetings or they do a conference call, okay? And rightfully so, because look, one hand is helping the other hand. Okay, so it's common decency to share the knowledge of the company's future, so that these guys, these big leaders, can prepare for that, right, Miss Marie? Because they could have an overnight explosion of let's say they're coming out with something that cures stupidness, okay? And so the leaders on that top 10 list are going to prep their people, their downline. Hey, they've come up with this. It's been tested. It's been proven. This eliminates stupidness. Oh, okay, that's cool. Everybody will want that. Okay, so they know they're going to have an overnight sensation on their hand with this product, and the volume is going to skyrocket. And it's going to line the pockets of the company. It's going to line the pockets of the top 10 people. And it's also the distributors and the downline. It's not a pyramid scheme. Anybody there can really take advantage of this in a massive way. Because if they're expanding into a new country that's a proven winner in network marketing, you can go into that new country ahead of the top 10 earners and say, hey, Marie can go in and say, I'm going to beat Rob to the punch. I'm going to go into so-and-so country and promote this anti-stupid pill that they came out with. And she could just become one of the top earners overnight. She could rocket from nowhere to the top 7, top 8 earners in the company just by literally getting out there and working her tail end off and using her connections. So the thing is, if the company says, yeah, we're going to have these out by October, and then in September they come up and say, oh, guys, we got to change. We're only going to come out with one product instead of 5. We're only going to add one new product to our existing product line of 5. So we're going to have a total of 6 products by October. Then guess what? Rob and Maria are like, dude, that's not what you told us. We've been building towards this. We're going to get egg on our face. We've been working our tail end off. Our downline's been working their tail end off. This is not good news. What happened? What's going on? Okay, if they won't tell you, major red flag. If they tell you and it's not good news, major red flag. There's very little good that's going to come out of this. Why are we telling you this? Guys, there's a real chance with a new company that you may run into these scenarios. We're trying to educate you in advance so you know what to do and what to expect. Right, Miss Marie? There have been these cases, unfortunately, many times, because they can't afford it, Miss Marie, or there's an ingredient in there that cannot go past muster. Is the best way to put it, right?
Yeah, and part of the reason we're sharing these topics is we want you to be aware that these happen, that that, again, that gut feeling, that sense you get that something's not quite right. Well, there may be a reason behind that, and you need to figure out how to deal with it, how to avoid it, or how to work around it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know what, guys? The thing is that it's an individual decision. But once again, we're giving you the basics. We're telling you about things that we have witnessed ourselves, experienced ourselves, and we know that happened so that you can be well prepared in advance so that you don't have to go through this stuff and you know what action to take, okay? Once again, if a company is telling you they're going to come out with X amount of products and they don't, okay, then that's a major red flag. You're going to have to do the hokey pokey, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, okay? You can't quit overnight because you got a downline that you have to be aware of. Now, if the company says, hey, we're going to come out with 5 additional products by October to supplement the 5 we already have, and then come out with 4 and leave 1 off, that's not a red flag, okay? Unless it's a stupid pill that they didn't do, okay? And you have to make a decision whether the stupid pill was worth it or not, because Miss Marie made the stupid pill her main focus to go into that foreign country, and all of a sudden the rug's been pulled out from underneath of her. All the people that she's built a huge organization over in that country based on the stupid pill, and the company's not coming out with the stupid pill. Well, almost overnight, Miss Marie is destroyed. Instead of being in the top 10, she's now barely part of the company, and her reputation has been destroyed. Okay, she's not going to be a happy camper. Okay, so red flag for her, but not for everybody else, because they didn't focus totally on the stupid pill, thinking that maybe there was a chance that wasn't going to happen. Okay, so there again, some scenarios that you want to be aware of. One of the other ones I want to talk about real quick is this. If you have a bunch of leaders in the front office leaving, major red flag. If it's just 1 or 2, that's normal, because what happens is if they do the expansion correctly, they're hot commodities, Miss Marie, for other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Marie was the CFO and Amway come calling, she'd be stupid to turn down Amway, okay? Because of the security and the stability of that and the reputation. I mean, that's huge, okay? She would be stupid to turn that down. If it's another growing company that's been around for a year and they like what Marie did with this company, once again, they're going to come knocking on her door. It may not be an Amway opportunity, but it may be more money, and it may, in her mind, be more fun and more challenging. Once again, personal choice. 1 or 2 people is not a big deal. But if you have a front office that encompasses 10 people and 7 of them leave, guess what? Red flag, ding, 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 ding. Okay, just to let you know, okay? So, once again, you're going to have to do the hokey pokey. If they get slapped with a lawsuit based on what the lawsuit is, or multiple lawsuits, based on what it is, you're going to have to look at it closely, major red flag, okay? If one of the owners or founders, whatever the case may be, gets arrested for possible embezzlement, major red flag. It's not your battle to fight. Chances are good that you need to go in a different direction. Let's see what I'm not trying to cover all the bases, just trying to cover the basics.
I think we hit on the major highlights.
Yeah, one last one.
We covered quite a few.
If there's a major negative lawsuit against a company, against a product the company has, or if there's major negative in the news, in print, about the company, about one of the owners passed, whatever the case may be, that could be a major red flag. These red flags are indicators that you need to make a decision as we close, because that's what it's about. Okay, Miss Marie and I may not leave on every red flag. Our experience may say this is not something, this is a red flag, no doubt, but this is a minor one. It's not a major one. If it's a major one, Miss Marie and I are doing the hokey pokey. Okay, if we only have 10 people in our downline, we can forget about the hokey pokey. We're leaving, because 10 people, we can take those overnight. But if we have 10,000 people, guess what? We can't take 10,000 people overnight. Those people have a right, and you have to do a Zoom meeting and get the word out. It takes about a week to 10 days to get that message out to your 10,000 people and then make a decision. So it's about a 2-week process, Miss Marie, in that hokey pokey situation. Okay, why do I bring that up? Because I want you to know that every red flag is different, but they are red flags. Miss Marie and I would react differently based on the severity of that red flag. Would you not agree?
I would say yes, the severity, but also the quantity, because another red flag is multiple red flags popping up.
That's a great
There's a difference. There are the small red flags, and then there are the big red flags, right? But if you have multiple small red flags popping up, that equals a big red flag, and then maybe you need to make a decision based on that.
That's right. That's right. Okay. And the tactics, the title says red flag tactics. The tactics are exactly what we're talking about. Do you need to do the hokey pokey? Keep one foot in the company you're with now while looking for another one? Do you need to leave overnight? Do you need to talk to the leadership? There's a lot of tactics that you can use to combat these red flag issues, okay? But the tactics, to be honest with you, are going to boil down to you doing one thing well, and that is making an educated decision. And I use the word educated decision because you don't want to make a rash decision unless it's what she said, one big major one or a bunch of little ones making up one big one. Those are good common sense business decisions. Hey, it's time to go. All right. Miss Marie, we've all dated somebody where we thought everything was going to be fine, and all of a sudden, for some reason, big red flag comes up, and you're like, "Oops, it's time to go." Okay, we've all been there. That's life. Well, it's no different here. That's what we're referring to. If you're dating someone and you see a little red flag here and a little red flag there, you're like, okay, we can work on that. That's no big deal. We'll overcome that. But if it got a bunch of little ones that all of a sudden you're like, man, this is wearing my ass out. It's something every freaking day. Then it ends up being one big one, right? Those little ones. And that's what Miss Marie is referring to. And once again, it's a personal decision. I agree with Miss Marie. If I have a bunch of little ones that are nagging me every day, my butt's gone. Okay. And it's not raw. I realize I make a decision for many people, but I also realize that dealing with a negative issue every day wears everybody down. And I may be strong enough to overcome them, but that doesn't mean my downline does. And in defense of my downline and for their goodwill, I need to be a leader, stand up and say, hey, it's better if we just go. There's too many small issues. And of course, there's going to be some people who are going to stay, and that's more power to them. That's their right. All right, Miss Marie, you got anything else to add?
No, I think we covered that really well.
Okay, thank God we had minimal issues today. I'm so glad of that. All right, guys, real quick, go to our website. You'll see at the top of the page, podcast replay. You can listen to the past week's podcast. You can download a free gift. There's no shenanigans when you fill out our forms. All of our forms do not have sales tactics attached to them. Okay, if you want to buy something, our products speak for themselves. They sell themselves. The prices and the bonuses that go with our products all sell themselves. We'll let you know about them, but we're not going to sell you through email. That's ridiculous. So there's no shenanigans that takes place when you download our free products. And when you go to the podcast replay, there are free products there for you. Okay, and you will get an email. Well, chances are good that you get an email highlighting other free products that you may be interested in, but that'll be it. There will be no sales emails coming your way. But you can listen to the whole week's podcast by simply going to the website and clicking on podcast replay. Also, while you're there, at the top of the page as well is our beta test link. If you want a chance to become a beta tester on our upcoming leads generation site, all you got to do is go fill out the form. Once again, no shenanigans. You're going to be put on the list. It does not guarantee that you will be selected, but you got to be on the list in order to have a chance to be selected. Once again, you're not going to be marketed to, and you're going to get a free I Need Leads Now book and bonuses. So good deal there. Finally, as we have not done in the last few days, what not to do in network marketing. Normally $197 for the next 24 hours, only $47. An instant savings, $150. And this is not going to count as a lifetime membership. A lifetime membership. Never have to pay another red cent and have constant access 24 hours a day to this wonderful information that will make you a focused business building machine. 146 paragraphs along with 146 audio files plus many training videos. You're not going to get this information anyplace else. It's very unique. It exposes the industry for what it is. Do not miss out. Get your copy today. Only $47. All right, Miss Marie. With that being said, I think it's time for us to get off of here.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the comparison trap.
The comparison trap. Wow. That's going to be a good one. To be honest with you, I look forward to that. All right, guys, y'all have a good day. God bless. Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.